All right, so we're going to call to order the special meeting of the Village of Santa Wood Lake South Homeowners Association Board of Directors for Monday, March the 2nd, 2020. Natalia Franklin.
Here.
Chris Christoph.
Present.
Larry Rocco present. Mary Lou Barnes.
Present.
Okay, and Joe Costello I haven't heard from, so we'll
Oh, good. You mean maybe he did resign after all?
Okay. All right, so this meeting is expressly directed to the landscaping situation that we've had and the replacement of our current landscaper. Now, we've invited, and he's graciously accepted to be here because Randall and I met with Jeff Cohen of Islander Landscaping Company, Inc.
Good.
And
Good enough.
he comes highly recommended by Image Sprinklers, who we think highly of. He does a community in the Polo Club in Wellington that I'm very familiar with because I have customers living there. And it's anytime I've been out in that area, and I do go out to their homes, it's been impeccable. So hopefully this is what we've been long awaiting to get for our landscaping. Now, Jeff is going to explain a little more about it, but I'm going to just skim across the top quickly that he is strictly a landscaper. He's exactly what we want. He cuts grass, he trims shrubbery, he doesn't plant shrubbery. He could, but he prefers that he doesn't. And it's better for us that way too, because he would have to subcontract it to somebody. He has to be in business. He has to make money. The people he's subbing it to has to make money. We can deal directly with nurseries and save money. And Randall already has somebody in mind, and we will discuss that at our March board meeting. But Jeff is he's dedicated to the landscaping needs of the community, not the irrigation or the replacement of shrubbery or any of the other. So we're better off to get the people that specialize and are good at what they do. So I'm going to open it up to questions. First of all, I'm going to give Jeff an opportunity to say anything he would like to say.
Sure. Well, you hit all those points, like you said, and my core is cutting grass, trim the hedges. You know, I've been doing this for quite some time. We could have always done trees and do all kinds of other branching out, but we stick to the core. My core is cutting grass and trimming the hedges, do the maintenance. Our average customer is over 10 years. We plan to be here and make you guys one of those over 10-year customers, if not longer. So, you know, I'll do whatever I can in my powers to work with you guys and do what you guys, my customer, you know, desire and you want. Whatever we're trying to accomplish, we could do it together.
Yeah. Okay.
Can
So-
you tell you, 1 second,
Sure.
the name of the company, first name and last name, because we're recording.
Sure. My name is Jeff Cohen. I am the owner of Islander Lawn Maintenance, and we are located here in West Palm Beach.
Wonderful.
Okay. Now, Mary Lou has been in charge of the landscaping for the community for the past year and a half.
And before that, for several years.
And before that, for several years, yes. I mean, so she, and I, you know, you can't be a jack of all trades and a master of none. She's a master at what she does. I try to let people do what they know best. So we have questions. I want you to ask them to Jeff, and he'll be happy to answer them.
Well, if I may jump in just to sort of set the thing in motion. I'm a big fan of being given a full scope of work with all the details really broken out.
Sure.
With a lot more chat than is on this single page. So I think that what I'd like to know is, just quickly, do you have a man on property every time that you do our property? You will be doing our property. Do you have a manager?
Yes, there's a
supervisor?
foreman always.
A foreman, okay.
For the most part, you're going to have me most of the times here.
So if Randy and I set up a date, let's say, to meet in front of my gate or in front of his gate or somebody's gate to discuss issues, it will be either you or your foreman
Correct.
who will be
And-
available.
Correct. And if we're on property, we don't need much time.
Right.
Notice, and and even if we're not on property that day, we would need a few days notice. We work really good with our schedule to make any meetings possible.
Okay.
Sometimes there are issues. Most of the times they're not emergencies, but we make it available so we can work on them.
Well, I'll give you a few, which I'm sure Randall has told you, if not Larry has, that have really upset us with this current company. As many times as we have met them on property, this manager, supervisor, whatever he's called, not foreman, but he has, and we have discussed maybe 5 issues that are very important to us, because one of the things about our community is that we like uniformity. That's why all the fences are painted the same color. That's why all the homes the exteriors are maintained in the same style, etc. And we want the property, the common ground, to look the same way.
Sure.
Okay, we want continuity. We have had the hardest time getting them to follow what we want, such as our fences have a center board. The fences are 5 feet tall. Right in the middle is a board, inside board.
I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
Okay, we have asked over and over again, ad nauseum, that we want the hedges that height, to the
How
height
much
of that
easier
board.
do you want it?
Huh?
How much easier can you say it?
Hello. Thank you.
I don't know. That's just me.
Thank you.
But,
I think it's English. It's
Yeah.
clear. Okay.
yeah, that's
That's been a struggle.
okay.
The other thing is, and this has a few exceptions, about 90% of our units, buildings, of which there are 131 buildings, have an areca palm planted right in front of the AC units, the Florida Power and Light meters, etc., that are ugly. We have tried with this company to make them understand that we would like the areca palm not to be boxed, to be allowed to grow out a little bit, but no higher than the top of the fence, because when it's no higher than the top of the fence, you can see the
numbers.
house numbers and the light that we spent a fortune on last year and the year before, and the light.
Sure.
That's been a struggle. Now, granted, there are exceptions. When you have a person that has a home on the lake and they park their car on the other side of the building and walk down down a sidewalk to the lake, okay, have been exceptions where the areca's growing onto the sidewalk. So when it's pouring rain or it's wet, they have to rub against
Sure.
them. Of course, we said go ahead and trim those, but don't cut them way back. Just trim them to make the path accessible.
Right.
Also, going back quite a ways, when we began the fence project in 2018, the restoration of the fence project, we did find it necessary, broke my heart, but found it necessary to have the company trim back the inside
Sure.
of the hedge to make room for the
Sure.
painters, and I got it. I understood it. Well, they're still doing it. On units that were done in maybe September of 18, January of 19, every time they trim, I'm still finding places where
And now we want them to grow.
we want them to
grow
grow
in.
back and fill in and be nice hedges, front and back grow
Let's
in.
work, right? I mean,
But
I don't know.
anyway,
I'm just
but
saying.
anyway, have a little space between.
Well, tiny
I
bit of space, so
understand.
they don't,
Yeah.
and so
I understand.
so they don't rub against the newly painted fence.
You don't want this much room where people can
No,
walk
we'd
through.
like about that
or,
much. Well, mainly because it's ugly. When you walk up to your gate and you look right and you look left, you've got this much space between your hedge and your
Sure.
fence, and all it is dirt.
Sure.
And it's not helping the depth of the hedge. It's not helping it fill out and fill
Sure.
in.
Well,
So
Yeah.
those are just
You
some
know,
of the.
I mean, this
that's
is,
some
and this
of
is
it.
another example. Mary Lou, myself, and Randall met with the foreman of the current company,
Right.
and we discussed what she just brought out to you. And I told him specifically, my unit number, my hedges were a year and a half old, and every time they come in, they chop them back to nothing. I said, they're not growing, they're not filling in, because you keep that far from the fence, and they cut them. Here's the middle rail on the fence, and they're this high.
Oh,
and the moment the new growth comes,
He
That's
told
right.
me he would guarantee that wouldn't happen. So Randall happened to be at my home the next day. I heard the trimmers out there. I said, I better get out there. I went out, and the guy that was about to trim them knew nothing about the conversation we had the day
Yeah,
before.
this was terrible.
oh my God! Did they say trim it?
Well,
Yeah, right. It's like a complete mistake
know,
in many ways. Yeah.
unfortunately,
So-
the company
terrible.
we're working with now is a huge corporation, and unfortunately, for us, that doesn't work. We like mom and pop,
Sure.
family-owned and operated
But,
businesses.
okay,
Sure.
can I say about this areca palm? It's sides, do not trim sides, because when they
Yes.
trim, it's like boxing, you become ugly.
Yeah,
Sides,
Randall explained it to me,
good.
and since then, earlier today, I drove by there to see exactly, and I know exactly the areca palm now you're talking about.
Right.
I will do whatever, however you want me to maintain those. If it's leave the sides, let them grow, the sides will let grow.
Well, for
If it's
example,
until things start to overgrow,
yes,
and then they
yes, then
require
they need
some
trimming.
maintenance.
Yes, yes.
We want to see the numbers from the houses and the buildings. You'll see the numbers
And the
from
house
buildings.
And the lights will be able to shine.
Exactly,
Right?
On people's cars.
The FPL boxes
We don't
there.
want to see those.
Right, that's, I know the point of that was to hide those.
Well, because
That would
they're
be
no
good.
longer red. You know,
Right.
in the old days, we had to trim the hedge so that the Florida Power and Light
Mm-hmm.
guy could come in and read the meters. Well, they don't read them anymore. It's all done automatically wherever
nice
it's
one.
done. Which is nice. We don't have all those people
Yeah,
on
that is
property. But on the other hand, so we don't need to clear a path.
It was bad choice for areca, because areca like beautiful when you're not trimmed there, but because of they already put there, we have no
Right.
choice. Like
Right.
at least,
Well, we're sticking
they're
with them.
ugly, but you keep it at least to look better.
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
give it some growth. Let it look
Sure.
natural, like a
Sure.
palm.
Sure,
You know.
and that's just a matter of
That's normal.
yeah.
Well, a
we're
lot
not-
of this is common sense.
correct. We're
And
getting
that's-
getting
and
the
my-
information across to the crew to make sure they do the right work.
Well, that's why I asked
And
about
that's-
who's on property.
How did you find him? That's interesting, because
Well,
Well,
I've got
actually,
him through-
Actually,
GRS got a bid from him back, I don't know how long.
it was quite a while ago. I had no idea about that, but I got him through Image. Image
Yeah,
suggested
yeah.
because they work with him on other properties,
Right.
right? And he said, because we were talking, me and Sebastian, who is here all the time for Image Image Sprinkles.
That's what she calls it.
We would talk about landscaping issues and stuff like that, and well, he mentioned this company. I said, well, do you think they're big? Because he said they're smaller or whatever. I said, well,
Oh, exactly what we
kind of.
need,
And I was like, well, that's kind of good in a way. We want that, but will they be able to handle a property this size? And he goes, I believe they can. So, I had given Dave, when we got those bids, back in November, I had given Dave his company
Information.
name to get a bid from this guy, and then he got the bids from the others as well, and then we've had them sitting on these since November, I think,
oh my
right?
God,
So, but we were trying to give this other company a little bit of a chance, and see if there's a learning. We know there's a learning curve. There's probably going to be one for you as well.
Sure.
As far as attacking the property and how do you attack it the most efficient way. But now they've gone beyond the chances as far as they should be on board by now because they started in September, right? September, I think we had that.
Yeah.
Well, you can't keep repeating yourself, and
But
it
we
seems
have
like
me-
you guys
we've
have
had several
requested.
Yes,
meetings,
yes,
and there's
no,
things
several
that-
meetings.
And what really kills us is that the sales presentation that we got over two board meetings to get to actually take them on was like they sold us such a bill of goods that they're not able to live up to, not even close.
They
But,
own
really
like
important
50
question.
companies
but I was
across the
wondering-
United States. Give me a break.
But I wanted to mention
Good luck
because
trying to get somebody
Thank you.
to answer.
I just wanted to
I'd
mention because
rather have a big fish in a big fish in a little pond than a little fish in a big pond.
One question. When somebody, you know that if somebody fired from corporation, like you have your company, you fired your employee, I always know that they take security take person out. Because this moment when you tell that you are fired, nobody leave this person alone, mess around in property. But how we giving 30-day notice to people and what they can do? Because I remember that landscape manager, they did it some harm.
landscape manager.
Manager, you remember we did it because
Well,
I caught them doing it.
Yeah, but
Now we're giving 30 days notice, and people will mess in our properties.
no, but let me jump in and just
How
say
it
this.
will work?
No, let me just say this.
Yeah.
Every homeowners association that I have any knowledge of, where I've gone to a friend who lives in one of the communities and talked to them about things, or who serve on boards in Ibis, Lost Tree, various places. Everybody does 30 days notice. That's as common and ordinary. 30 days on either side. He gets sick of our complaining, he gives us 30 days notice. We don't like what he's doing, we give him 30. That's the law. That's pretty typical. And I understand what you're saying, that you can't trust them because once you give them 30 days notice, God knows what they're going to do.
Yeah.
But they would be subject to law.
Oh, yeah,
They would be
that's-
subject to a lawsuit.
Look at our previous manager, what mess they did for us. The previous manager,
Yeah.
they
Yeah,
asked
but
them-
let's not go backwards.
Yeah, I
Let's go
understand.
forwards. Let's go
Yeah.
forwards.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
no,
it is
no,
the
no.
normal
It is
30-day
normal.
notice.
It is.
Both parties, either party.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always, and it's been in our, I've lived here 30 years, as you know,
Yeah.
and so, I've seen it all.
But getting back
Will we
to
vote or what we can do right now?
well,
Randall, do you have something you want to say?
Well, I
Because
just
we
wanna-
want to bring it to a vote.
Well, we want Chris to jump in.
I just had a quick question.
Yes.
And I'm newer to the board, so I don't know who deals with this, but can you talk about like what you guys do after, like, say, a hurricane, for example?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Right after a hurricane, immediately the moment you're allowed to go out in the streets and it's safe, anything that's blocking streets or sidewalks or walkways, we'll take care of immediately, probably the day or 2 days after. And then with time, everything else starts to get cleaned up as we've dealt with, our fair share of them. And, we will make sure we do find out exactly what's wrong, what we can do, what we can't do. But anything that's blocking,
where are we in the pecking order when
Immediately.
it comes to your communities?
you're like, you get right away. We'll be there right away.
But I mean, you
probably
can't, you
be-
can't be on all of your properties right away.
No, you're absolutely right. Some of them don't have the kind of trees that you guys
Yeah.
have that would require. I know how it looks like. I'm out, usually the first one out, even if it's on a Sunday, and I will make my own inspections right away with our properties. We're not a big company. I know exactly what every property will look like. I'll start sending out my guys to start cleaning up the areas. We get the.
Well, I'm happy to hear that, because the company prior to the company we have now, that was the one thing that they did that blew my mind. Literally the day after the hurricane in September of 17 was that? I've lost
Yeah.
track now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They were literally on property cleaning up, and they didn't leave the property until we were clean. And that was ficus tree branches on the driveways, on people's sidewalks.
mess.
It was a mess.
It's a mess.
And-
Everything else gets disrupted, such as your other services. But
Oh, that's fine.
We know we have to clean up, and the moment the cleanup is done, and you cut
And
the
you
grass.
cart it all away, you would cart it all away.
Oh, you have to. Yeah, you
Yeah,
have to pull it
okay.
out.
Even though, let's say, you might not be currently maintaining trees. If there are branches down after a
Haul it
storm,
out.
as part of your cleanup, you would cart them away.
Haul it out.
Cool. Thank
Haul
you.
it out.
Okay,
Wonderful.
I like that.
Okay, whose motion?
Well,
Okay, the other.
Did you get
the
your
oth-
question?
That was my only question.
That was,
Okay, and I have one last question. One bone of contention with a lot of our residents is hedge beds and around the air conditioners.
Okay.
Everybody says they're gonna clean them, nobody does. Do you blow them out? Do you rake them if they need it?
You guys have a lot of leaves from these trees.
Yeah.
If
yeah.
you don't rake them or blow them out, that just piles up. I can only imagine what the pile looks like in the back.
Yeah.
It comes out, and what comes out of there, it's quite a bit. And if you don't do it on a routine basis, it just accumulates
Gets a mess,
to the point.
yeah.
And he did tell Randall and I that he doesn't just blow it out into the grass.
No.
It's raked and bagged.
Correct.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Yay,
Raked, bagged, hauled out.
yay.
But
Yes.
it's really fertilizer.
Correct. Now, there's times where that does happen, but when you do have the large accumulation of the leaves, rather than fertilizing the grass, what they will do is choke up the grass at that moment. If we come with the mower after, like cut it up, it usually gets bagged up, the excess.
But what I was talking about, the leaves is fertilizer. I know.
Oh,
that-
leaves are a form of
Correct.
fertilizer.
They are.
A
Yes,
certain
yes.
amount. A certain amount. Too many will smother it.
Right.
Well, and for example, our problem is that then if they don't clean them all up and you have lawns immediately alongside of parking spaces or a sidewalk, and then a nice little breeze comes along, guess where they all are? They're all over the sidewalk and all over the parking spaces. Then it rains and we have muck.
Right.
So,
Well, yeah, it does. They all get corralled up, and any leaves that currently are landing on the grass right now, those get cut up with the mower, and those become great fertilizer. You're right.
and one of the other quick things that, and this has just been happening recently, is that this company has been using, we have a lot of small lawns that are not even as big as this room that are outside of the gate of a unit. They're scattered all over the place. So it isn't a big area to mow right there with, parking spaces, driveway, parking spaces, house. So it's like somebody's front lawn.
Right.
Okay. So what they've been doing is when they've been mowing it, they've been doing it unevenly, and the tracks of their mower, their black mower, are being left on our parking spaces or sidewalk or driveway. And I know someone here complained about it, and I have it this last time. Mine
Oh,
is.
I have.
Why
And you have-
why is happened the black tire?
The tire
Yeah, the
marks,
tires,
and
the tires.
it kind of dawned on me why, because any other landscaper ever, I've never seen this.
Never seen that
Never
before
seen
either.
this until
Me
these
either.
guys. Well, these guys got the stand-up mowers. They have a sit-down riding mower, but they also have these
For the
stand-up
smaller
ones,
areas.
Sure.
and like little Segway kind of like
They
stand-up
turn
mowers.
on that. If you turn
And I
on
think that's not only that, because there's other areas where I think even the riding mower,
And they're not mowing evenly.
they're just, they're just riding all over the place. Where I've never ever, I've been here 20 years. I've never seen tire tracks all over the sidewalks and the
Yeah,
drive.
no, it's a first.
I
I agree.
I've never
I'm here
seen it.
30. It's a
In-
first. It's a first.
One question: do you do fertilizer? Do you spray
Granular.
fertilizer?
Granular
Do you do that,
fertilizing.
granular, we do it. However, like I said at the beginning, our core is cutting the grass and doing the
Cutting, yeah,
hedges. In the summers, when if we get backed up
Yeah,
because
yeah.
of rains and it's due for fertilizer, we would sub it out, which I'm
Yeah,
100% responsible
Yeah,
for.
but very important.
It's on here.
Because
It's in
every
here.
fertilizer, they are not good for animals or children. Always need put a little sign.
have to.
Yeah, because we have this problem. I have this blowing video. Can you imagine that they fertilize in 30 minutes? I have timer on my video. Children with dogs running on that.
No,
on
you
that
got to put the
poison.
little flags.
They did not even.
That's what the flags are.
You got to put the
Exactly.
flags.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's
You put at
required.
least sign that an hour or something. Don't. Yeah. Okay. Motion.
Okay, make a motion.
I'm making motion to
Accept.
hire
Islander
wonderful
lawn
company.
maintenance.
All right, I'll second that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, so we
Motion
have
carries.
4 to
4 to
zero.
0 and 1 absent.
Yeah, one episode. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
Cool.
all right,
Excellent.
Jeff,
Lovely. Do you have
be
business
prepared
cards?
early April.
Perfect. We will. We will be here.
Yeah.
All hands on deck. Myself.
Oh, another thing that we do request, which Randall, of course, Randall provides, make sure we all get it, is a monthly
Schedule.
schedule. Thank you. Yes, monthly schedule. We get it
Yeah.
from Image.
Cutting
We get it
and
from
trimming.
Image, and we want it from you.
course.
Yeah, a
course.
cutting schedule. Thank you, sir. A cutting schedule and a trimming
Yeah, I
schedule.
already have one, Randall has one, so.
Okay, well, forward that to us then, so we.
I will. I will.
No,
and I
not
will
the
be in
schedule
contact.
yet.
Oh,
Okay.
Cards. Oh, okay, yeah, so if you forward that to Randall, then he scoots it to all of us at the beginning of each month.
Way a little bit, Chris.
And then we all know that maybe we're not gonna go to work so early that day. 'cause we
Okay,
wanna see what you're doing.
All right, the meeting is adjourned.
Short and sweet.
Yep, okay.
Thank you.